shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. We're going to deal with the legalization of marijuana. To legal or not to legal? And I want to introduce my guest, starting to my right, the lovely Tiffany. How you doing today?
Well, I'm blessed, and it's always a pleasure to be here.
All right, and to her right, we got King Noble.
Black supremacy.
How you doing, brother?
Good.
Long time no see.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here. Always a pleasure to be on this show, man. The most powerful show in the world.
Oh, man, thanks, man. Man, I appreciate that, King, you know. And to next to that, behind that king, we got King of the Hebrew Israelites, Gideon Ben Israel.
Abby's your servant. Thank you. I'm honored to be here among this esteemed panel.
All right, and to his front, we got Alberta, lovely Alberta. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Yes. Okay, and we got James. How you doing, James?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
You know, this was an emergency show, James, because one of my cohorts, Art, you know, you were on WRFG.
Love WRFG.
You tore him apart.
Oh, no. We had fun. We had a good debate, so
All right,
it was very good. I always like to talk about the marijuana issue, legalization,
Absolutely.
et cetera. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to talk about it.
Okay, well, you got some allies. You know, Gideon, he's pro for it. So you know
Yeah,
what
we
I'm saying?
talked a little bit about the Pink Floyd. We know
Right.
know where he's at.
Good. All right. Well, Gideon, since you're the advocate, Mr. James here, I'm going to speak in your language, the biblical language.
Oh, look out
The
now.
language of the Bible.
Wow.
The language of God. Of
Yes,
God,
yes.
You know,
Yes. Go ahead.
I
Talk
remember
to me.
there
Don't
being
be
a
shy.
story of King David.
Yes, sir.
You know, he looked on Bathsheba. You know, she was
Uh-oh.
looking fine and
Yes,
looking
sir.
good. And, you know, he wanted to. He said, man, I got to have that woman right there.
Bleed that.
There was one little detour. There was
A hitch in that giddy up.
he was married.
Wow.
So, you know, let's just say Bathsheba's husband was a general.
A Hittite.
Right.
Uriah.
And the man loved, I'm assuming like most men in Tamara, they love battle. They love what they do.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
Absolutely.
he sends this man into battle
To the front line.
to the front line.
Mm.
And it was specific instructions. Psst, hey, when he gets there, we're going to pull back. And they pulled back.
They put him in the heat of the battle. This is true.
And so let me bring that metaphor to today.
Look out. Calm down.
You know, because just like Bathsheba's wife, you know, husband loved battle.
Yes.
You got some people that love weed. So, you know, send all the people in the battle smoking the weed, and you got Senate going, hey, pull back. When they get addicted, we gonna lock them all up.
This is true.
So what's your take on that, Gideon? Because we talked about smallpox and the blankets last time.
Yes.
So I had to speak your language because you're still smoking the herb.
You know what? I actually, in this instance, have to agree with you, my brother. Your analogy was compelling and to the point, and in this system of white supremacy and incarceration and the prison industrial complex, that is exactly what they have done. Use a tool that was given to us biblically as an herb, medicinal.
Wait a minute. So you
that
acting like
medicinal
OJ's
properties.
goddamn attorney. You supposed to represent this man.
Well, I'm
You know, OJ said, you know, wait a minute, Your Honor, that lawyer didn't represent me. And now you goddamn siding with the prosecution here.
Well, he said, if it does not fit, you must acquit. Well, in a reference to marijuana, the acquittal is that it is medicinal. It is natural. And when the system of governance, once we determine what government actually is and define that, is the wealthy trying to control the poor and using the resources of the poor by profiling them, finding out what they like and dislike, and then criminalizing the very herb that they've used to write governmental documents, make clothes out of, as well as used for other very important tools for survival in the society.
And before I ask your client a question, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Are you a revolutionary?
Absolutely. Spiritual revolutionary.
Okay. Well, we're going to get
It's
there.
a difference.
Okay. Now, James, you know, I've heard you talk about, you know, marijuana, the legalization, the medicinal purposes. I'm going to come at you two different angles today. The first being, is it addictive?
is it addictive?
Right.
My point is, it doesn't matter if it's addictive or not. My point is that the government shouldn't have a right to intrude into our lives.
Okay.
And that marijuana is not a crime. We do not judge alcohol or tobacco and whether or not it's addictive. We regulate it, we control it, we tax it.
Right.
And that's what we want to do with marijuana. And as long in the state of Georgia, we're arresting about 30,000 people every year for marijuana.
That's true.
And we feel like it's not a crime, and therefore the state of Georgia, the legislature, should decriminalize or perhaps legalize, certainly medicalize marijuana, as 18 states in this country have medical marijuana laws. We've got 2 states that have legalized it, and many, more than a dozen states have decriminalized in some form or fashion. So we want to throw out all the old myths and all the old scare stories about marijuana and try to put the truth out there to the people to say what you have been taught throughout your life is probably not true about marijuana.
Okay.
Even if it was. The point is, it's none of the government's business, and it's none of, frankly, your business or my business, what you do in your own personal life. So as long as you don't bother me or offend me or harm me, then I feel like marijuana should be legal, and that you should have a right to choose whether or not you should use it or not.
Okay, but we have things like alcohol, which is which is legal basically, but then you talk about public safety. You have people who could get behind the wheel or operate heavy machinery, drive dump trucks, 18-wheelers, operate saw machines.
Well, they're doing that right now, but my point is, how do we deal with alcohol as far as public safety? How do we deal with prescription medication as a public safety issue? We have laws against drinking under the influence.
Right.
We can have laws against smoking under the influence and being intoxicated. If you're pulled over, if they find some reason to pull you over, other than being the wrong color or the wrong, either your hair too long or too short, or skin too light or too dark, if they find some reason to pull you over, then they will have to ascertain whether or not you're impaired or not. And we do the same thing. If whatever road tests are available for alcohol should be available for marijuana.
Okay.
If you can pass their tests, you're not impaired.
Well, one more question, and I'm gonna go to the rest of the panel. You said there should be some system set up to where it kind of regulates the whole use of marijuana, correct?
Well, in order to get marijuana legal, there will have to be some type of regulation. If I had my way, it would just be a free plant that you should be able to grow your own. There wouldn't necessarily have to be a commercial market. It wouldn't necessarily have to be regulated by our government. The plant was put here for a reason.
Okay.
I don't think it was necessarily put here to be regulated by the federal or state governments.
Okay.
But if that's what it takes to keep people from going to prison for this, I'm willing to compromise and to say, let's come up with some type of rational, reasonable form of regulation as we do with wine. Let's treat it like wine, not plutonium. Okay, and that's what we're doing. And I think that the laws are affecting people's lives to such a degree. They're destroying people's lives.
Right.
People are losing their jobs.
Right.
The felonies that are attached to marijuana arrests carry on throughout their lives and affect that.
That's right.
And we believe, as Jimmy Carter once said, that the laws do more harm to the individual than the drug itself.
Let me state this for the record. And you also declared that Jimmy Carter said that the war on drugs has failed. So let me come to Alberta. You've heard Gideon and you've heard James talk about, marijuana. And my question to you, because what James is saying is very interesting. We need to set up a system. So, and this is going to come back to James and Gideon, because my question is, like alcohol. You have Alcoholics Anonymous, and you have all these alcohol program and treatment programs. So my thing would be, in order for that to be set up, there would have to be an admission for an addiction.
Yes, I agree with what James just said in terms of the laws doing more harm than the drug itself. But I also believe that the drug itself does harm to the human body and the mind. Alcohol is legal, but yet people are going out here driving vehicles and killing people.
Right, right. But James did say that there
And they are
should
going
be a
to
control.
prison.
Right, okay.
Yes, they are
right.
going to prison under DUI laws, DWI laws. And, you know, alcohol does harm. It does harm just like these laws are doing harm to prohibit people from going out here driving drunk, from driving under the influence of marijuana or cocaine or, you know,
So
heroin.
what you're saying is that marijuana has a potential to be a public safety
Yes.
risk.
Yes, it is. Well, it's already a
Safe-
public safety risk now, just like alcohol is a public safety risk. And I also agree with James when he said that the government should not interfere in the lives of its citizens in terms of, you know, prohibiting us from smoking marijuana or alcohol. I mean, I'm sorry, from smoking marijuana or drinking alcohol. That makes sense.
Albert, you revolutionary?
Am I a revolutionary?
Yes, are you revolutionary?
What do you think?
I think based on your research and the articles that you print, I would say, yes, you are a revolutionary. But I don't want to call you a revolutionary because revolutionary is actually on the same term as being a terrorist in Obama's eyes, administration. So that's why I don't want to just blurt out and give you a label. I'd rather people to do that for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'll say I'm a revolutionary, which is actually more dangerous than saying you're a terrorist. That's why Assad Shakur is on the FBI list.
Hello.
That's right. King Noble,
Yes, sir.
you already know, I already know the answer to that question. Are you a revolutionary?
I'm a terrorist.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But if revolutionary makes people feel more comfortable, I'll use that.
I mean, it's whatever you feel comfortable with, King.
Right. I'm a terrorist against white supremacy.
Okay, so let's just say terrorism, revolutionary. And the reason I'm asking this question, I should have came to you last, but it's all good, is because marijuana is known to relax people, make them feel good. You know, I seen this one comedian say, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. First I'm gonna slice this cheese right here. Does it interfere with the job of the revolutionary? I mean, can we be revolutionary and smoke weed?
This
Thanks,
is
what I'm asking you.
actually the hardest. This is what I like about your shows.
Oh, yeah.
You come with some of the hardest challenges for me as show topics, and I don't know if you do that intentionally or not, but it's
I do it intentional.
This is really like a chess game right here that you playing. and
Okay.
you're very good at it.
Yes, he
There were assassins. The word marijuana comes from hashish,
Okay.
which actually was assassins used this in Arabia before they actually killed people.
Okay.
They would smoke marijuana, so it actually helped them be better killers.
Okay.
And this is in the East. You can do the research. Look up the assassin and look up hashish. The words actually have the same derivative.
Okay.
Now, the marijuana that is being handed out in America, that I see in the hood, seems to be a sedative. I see people
Right.
losing ambitions, being very lethargic.
Right.
But at the same
Lazy.
time, I have to keep in mind
Anti-revolutionary.
Exactly. It really pacifies them down. But we have to also keep in mind that there are thousands of different grades of marijuana. There's some that motivate you. There's some that depresses you.
Right.
So I don't want to make any general statements. But I think that an issue with the regulation of marijuana, which is what James is talking about, is that the type of marijuana that's coming out, if people could have the right to grow their own marijuana, then they wouldn't have to deal with that particular strand that's being put out that's causing them to be lethargical and to be passive and to not have that spirit in them, and they can get the type of marijuana that would have them be assassins.
Right.
But since it's illegal, they have to deal with whatever is pushed under the black market. You know, it's kind of like a closed market. People don't even have the freedom to do the type of education to really deal with it as an herb, and they have to deal with it as some type of black market underground drug. So they're not really using it from a scientific perspective to get that type of results. So it's forced to be as kind of a taboo recreational type of thing when it could be a medicinal, strategical, more scientific, nutritional type of substance utilized in that particular manner. My only issue with what I hear James talking about is that it's not our government.
Okay.
That is, he says our government. It's not our government at all. It's actually a government of white supremacy.
Well,
And what he doesn't understand about the legalization of marijuana is that the problem that they're having is that this white supremacist government wants to maintain control over the melanated people. So marijuana being illegal it's for a reason. It's a scientific strategy to criminalize the black race, particularly. He's overlooking that. So
but he says he's for the legalization of it. So
so I'm going somewhere with this.
You're putting words in my mouth. I do not support that. I understand the racial impact. In fact, marijuana was outlawed using racial lies that somehow that if a white woman smoked marijuana, that they were going to enjoy jazz music, they were going to like black people, that they were going to associate with them. So please don't put words in my mouth. The revolution I want to bring about is ending prohibition. There is no assassinations or murder associated with marijuana. It's associated with the prohibition of the drug and those who want to profit from it. I'm trying to end the prohibition. So please don't put words in my mouth, and you don't know me and you don't know what I understand. I do understand the racial problems that have. That's why marijuana was outlawed. In testimony before Congress, they use these scare tactics. They use the word marijuana when we used to call it hemp and cannabis, and they changed it to marijuana to associate with the Hispanics and the Mexicans. And so this is kind of racial issues that were brought about to trick the American people and frankly Congress into outlawing marijuana. So,
but James, I think what King Noble was saying, and Kino, you can correct me if I misrepresent you, was what he's saying is that you said that earlier. You talked about going to classes and having a system set up for proper growers. Now, on that top of that food chain of proper growers is Walmart and Monsanto. Monsanto, the same people that want to patent the seed. Now, what I'm saying, and I know King Noble can back me up on this, is that he's saying that we live under a government that is not only put a 60-year-old woman on the top FBI list, but say, for instance, you know what? Just like this story I told Gideon with the Bible. You know what? Let them have the marijuana. Let them legalize it. Because you didn't answer my question, because they know it is an addictive drug. But I'm going to give Tiffany the stats.
Where do you find that information that it's an addictive drug?
Tiffany?
Okay, you're saying it's an addictive drug. It can be psychologically, people can become psychologically dependent.
Right.
I'm not going to get into this medical issue, whether it's addictive or psychologically dependent. There's the old joke, I've been smoking marijuana for 30 years and I'm not addicted. Okay. That's the old joke. But, people can responsibly use marijuana. This association with the murder. I'm sure people who commit murder and are evil commit crimes without marijuana.
I agree.
Marijuana does not drive people into committing crimes. In fact, most people I know that smoke marijuana tend to be very friendly, very loving people. They tend to be...
Let me say too friendly and too loving. I want to emphasize that. James, let me bring Tiffany in here because I know she, like Alberta, did a lot of research. So Tiffany, and I know James said that the addiction doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to show is that when you have an addiction, see, we live in a capitalist society.
Hello.
And as King Noble was iterating about the races, now we can, whether we agree with the black or white issue, at the end of the day, we live in a capitalistic society. And I'll make the arguments, even for the white people, that they're capital too. Black people are capital. Everybody who is not the 1% is capital. So as a capitalist, let me define capitalism. Capitalism, an economic system in which the means of production are privately owned and organized to accumulate profits within a market framework in which labor is provided by wage workers. So if I got a prison, I need a surefire way to get those inmates in that prison. So how do I do it?
How you do it?
Yeah, how do I do it? What do the niggers love more than anything? What do these black folks love more than any white folks do? What do these people, how do we get them people in the prison system? What do they fight for more than anything?
What do they fight for?
What they fight for?
Oh, okay.
I mean, based on your stats, can we get them addicted to marijuana so we can get them in the prison system is what I'm saying.
Yes. All you gotta do is put it into the neighborhood like you put all the other drugs out there.
Right, and then we go ahead and pierce test them while they're on probation and parole.
Exactly.
Because they make up 86% of the recidivism rate, Mr. James.
But
Yes, and that's under prohibition. That's under prohibition. That's
Right.
not under my plan. That's under their
Right,
plan.
and that's what the argument King Noble was saying. He's saying that you trust the government.
No, I do not. Well, who said that? Who said that?
Oh, well, I apologize.
What I'm saying also
Okay.
is if you truly want to see the legalization of marijuana and not just the truly liberate marijuana, you have to fight against white supremacy because that's what it's about.
Let me
It's
talk
not about
white
legislation.
supremacy.
It's about a racial system that's meant to criminalize the culture of a particular people. That's what you're up against. And poor white people or white people that lack political power is also being grouped up in the
99%.
criminalization.
Look, I've been down
of
to the
this
state
culture.
capitol. I've been down to the state capitol lobbying for change in these laws. I find as much opposition with our black representatives
That's true.
as I do the white
are the minimum?
representatives.
Go ahead.
This is not a
Minority, go
black
ahead.
and white issue. This is about being
It is.
ignorant. It's about not understanding the facts about marijuana. It's about being ignorant and about keeping with the status quo. I guarantee you, I've talked with many black lawmakers down in our state capitol who said, I will not touch this issue. They support the current system. Okay,
Right.
so this is not all about white folks wanting to lock up black folks. This is also about a lot of black folks who also want to lock up black folks
I
and white
agree.
folks
Right.
too.
I
This
totally
is about
agree.
ending this, and this is about getting the government out of our lives. So that's where I'm coming from. I want to be clear about it.
Right, but okay, Tiff, let me get some stats real quick, and I want to make a good point here, and we're going to bring James and Gideon, because Gideon, you need to represent James here.
okay.
I'm just playing around. I'm just, we having
He seemed to
fun.
be holding his own to me up in this
Let
beat.
me read something that I got.
Forget reading, just tell me what you know, Tiffany.
Okay, well, I mean, I had to,
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I had to know something.
See, that's why I ask people to read before they come on the show. Go ahead, Tiff.
Well, I read, but I mean,
Okay, go ahead.
I got this from the Preceding Reporter website,
Okay,
and it was discussing about the marijuana arrest statistic based on race. Now,
okay.
it says whites in America, just by virtue of their numbers, make up about 6 times more than the black population and majority of drug users.
Okay.
However, black males were jailed 6 times more than white males
Precisely.
as of 2007. And black men are 11.8 times more likely than white men to be incarcerated for drug use or possession.
Okay.
And African Americans comprise 54% of all those convicted of first-time drug offenses.
What?
Yes.
First time drug offenses.
James doesn't know about this.
Oh, I absolutely know about it.
I think, well, hold on.
But it's
please,
not
hold on.
racial. It's not a racial thing, though. It's just totally legislation.
May I finish?
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Tiff.
Okay,
Go ahead.
that's what the report states. Now here's the federal government's survey. The federal government's 2006 national survey on drug use and health also finds that 25 million whites sold drugs compared to 700,000 blacks.
That's
Right.
absolutely right, and I do understand that, and please
Okay.
quit putting words in my mouth. I totally understand the disparity in this. I understand the disparity in the sentencing. That's
Okay.
why I'm trying to end it, okay? Here's
Right.
another thing he doesn't know about me. I was arrested for marijuana, and I did serve
Right.
2 years in the state prison system.
Okay.
And when I was in there, it wasn't hard to notice that about every 2 out of 3 people in there were of color.
Yes.
Okay, so James, let me
So
ask
I've
you.
experienced this, and that's why I'm
Okay.
trying to end it. Okay, I've been there and I've done that
You
with
gotta
this
end
issue.
white supremacy, though, man.
Okay,
well-
but let me ask you this.
Well,
here.
the
Did you
white
say you-
supremacy didn't keep them from arresting me, is my point.
Right,
This
right,
affects
right, right.
anyone
Because
who's
you're practicing
who they
minority
can,
culture.
anyone they can catch
you're
and
basically
snare
a
into
nigger
this
if you
system.
act like
Hold
a
on,
nigger.
hold on.
Anyone they can catch and snare into this system and steal their money from them and
Right.
steal their
I
future,
agree.
they're going to do it. They don't care if you're black or white. Statistically, it is against minorities. Okay. Statistically, it is.
Well, let me.
But in my community, my little white community, there's as many white folks getting arrested as in the black communities. Okay. Douglas.
Well,
County-
let me
go ahead.
translate. Every time, I'll just say this. Every time that King Noble says white supremacy, I'll just translate it to capitalism. a capitalist
Exactly.
society at the end of the day.
Which is the same thing.
Which is the same thing, which is the same poisonous dart. So you've been in the legal system before. What I'm saying is that, do you see that even if you decriminalize marijuana, you still might face probation and parole, and even though, because California is legal, but you know, you still got brothers and sisters still getting locked up over dirty urine because they're not thinking about marijuana's harmful and medicinal. They're thinking about, you know what, you still want to fill those prisons.
Good point.
Decriminalization or legalization is not going to solve all social ills and social problems. We're going to deal with them one at a time. Some people choose to deal with racism. Some people
Right.
choose to deal with animal rights. Some people deal with human rights.
Right.
I happen to be an advocate for marijuana,
Right.
along with other things, and,
Right.
and I understand the full implications of the law and how they're applied in this country. I knew where the law came from, so you know, I understand that, and like I'm saying, this is not going to solve all of our problems.
I'm gonna throw a
and I
curveball
wish
at
I
you,
could.
James.
I wish we could
I'm gonna
just
throw a
legalize
curveball at you.
marijuana, and then all the racism and all the problems in this world would go away.
I'm gonna test your racism right now.
All right.
Should OJ, hold on. Should OJ get a second trial?
Oh, I'm not getting into OJ.
Okay, all right.
OJ, I'm not getting into OJ.
Okay, let me just get
I will say this. I will say this. I hope he has a lawyer that will help him get a second
I agree,
trial,
agree.
because I do believe that everybody deserves a fair trial.
Okay,
And
okay.
if he didn't get one, he deserves one.
Okay, Gideon. I got to bring you in here. I know you know.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, I had to throw the OJ thing.
Oh, yes,
It's
sir.
all good. But no, let's get back on the
doing
marijuana.
your thing, baby.
Right. Let's
Yes,
get
sir.
back on the marijuana. You know, James is making some better points, but
Okay.
we still, like I said, you know, in here in Georgia, and I can vouch for this myself, because alcohol is legal. I don't even drink alcohol. But when I got out of the DeKalb, or no, I'm sorry, Duluth probation,
Yes,
you know, they said, you know, you're going to be on intense probation.
exactly.
Now, some people might say, you know, blacks and Hispanics get on intense probation more than whites. That's neither here nor there. The point that I'm making is that they came to my house at 6 o'clock every night to give me a breathalyzer. Alcohol is legal, though.
Exactly.
So exactly, you Gideon. So do you see the problem between James and Gideon?
Let me just first
King Noble,
say
'cause they're-
that James.
I think they're saying that. I want to say that they're saying the same thing. You know, we're talking about capitalism, white supremacy. It's
I
one
think
of the
we
same-
do agree on a lot of things. I think,
Right.
you know, I think there's a lot of, you know, grandstanding going on here between
That's okay.
all of us about
Right,
issues, and that's
right,
fine. I understand that. But I find that we found a lot of common ground on all the issues. He may have other issues than I have, but I'm simply trying to focus on that one issue.
Well, what he's saying is that he doesn't, and I know Gideon, you can come here and say that, is what King Noble bottom line is saying, he don't trust the government. We got a blackface. Well, I mean, I can name all the, Eric Holder, Barack Obama, Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell.
And all of them
I can
will
go-
lock you up.
Right,
All of them
right,
will
and all of
lock
them
you
are,
up.
right, and all of them.
Barack Obama said he will
Right.
not legalize marijuana
Right.
in this country.
Right.
So, you know, let's
Right,
start
and along
there.
with Herman Cain's, I mean, there's plenty of black faces, but one thing that I want to reiterate is that you got plenty. I'm gonna do a show on this. Black Republicans, you know, black people. That's why I ask people, on this, are they revolutionary? Because you got Cynthia McKinney, who signed the order for Assata Shakur. But if you want to address that, Miss McKinney, you can come on the show. But I digress. Gideon.
Oh, my brother, you've been doing fabulously. You know, James is really representing his race and
Absolutely.
European men well. I mean, his aggression, his ability to articulate
That's
his
why I had him on the
feeling.
show.
But the thing the issue is that he had the courage to come on here with us.
Yes.
And who-
white people, y'all can come on the show.
Most Europeans have
I would
devalued.
have to have courage to come here. As I, you know,
I know you don't because you all run everything.
I don't fear anyone. I don't
Exactly.
fear any
James, the
topic,
reason why
and
he's
we can
saying
come
that,
and
this
talk,
is the most
you know.
radical show on the planet.
Excellent. So in essence, we are agreeing with you.
Don't let the tie fool you.
Okay.
Don't let the tie fool you.
Well, and don't let our being very
Don't let
courteous
us
to
fool
you
you.
fool you as well.
One thing
We're
I
being
want-
quite courteous.
I wanna add,
Go ahead,
though.
King.
No, well, let
the king go ahead.
Is I'm not asking you to solve the problems of the world with how I'm addressing you, because last time white people tried to do that, they destroyed the planet, as you can see right now, and on every level, ecology, they destroyed indigenous people. So there's no way we're trying to get you to solve the problems of the world, or race issues. What I'm saying is that you're addressing the problem from a superficial perspective. If you seek a true solution to liberating marijuana, then you need to approach it
Well,
from
what
more.
is your solution? I want to hear your solution.
You're going to have to end white supremacy.
Yes.
Because they're not
So
going to do
therefore,
nothing.
marijuana will never be legalized.
Let me
because
show
of
you.
white
The black
supremacy.
man is the biggest threat against white supremacy, not marijuana,
No,
but the
no,
black
let
man.
me
Let me
tell you what the
continue. I'm
big-
not through.
okay.
I'll let you speak now, Mr. James.
Oh,
Let me
hold
go
on,
ahead and
okay.
speak.
Oh,
The black man is the biggest threat to this government.
why is the black man the biggest threat?
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
By the black man being the biggest threat, they criminalize marijuana, which is the culture of more black people in the hood and in the community than it is living in white neighborhoods.
Exactly.
You go in the hood, everybody's smoking weed, everybody's offering weed. So let me show you. The main tool that you have to criminalize the people that you feel more threatened to, are you going to go ahead and legalize that because a few white people that are having drug experiences want to smoke weed? Are you going to destroy your new industrial slave complex methodology just because a few white people want to smoke weed? I don't think you understand the total social implications of why marijuana is illegal. I think your approach is very superficial. I'm not trying to get you to solve all the problems of the world. I'm trying to show you what you're really up against if you really want to get to the solution of the problem.
Well, I'll tell you one thing you're up against. You're up against, for instance, black apathy.
That's true.
People sit on their butts and don't speak up and speak out. You know, I don't know why I become the whipping boy here for the white folks, but you need to deal with your own community and get them active.
I expect you to
and-
say stuff
and
like
get-
that.
and get busy.
But actually, you're a champion.
Call
for
the
your opinion.
lawmakers that are making these laws, and many of them are black folks. And
True.
I've
That's
sat
true.
down with many of them
That's
this
true.
session, and they oppose, they support these laws that are putting these
That's how
people
they
in
got their
prison.
job from whitey.
Well, I understand.
Do what
the
whitey
black
wants you
folks
to
in their
do.
community elected them, so maybe you need to replace your black elected representatives that are creating these laws.
I agree.
I'm not going to solve your problems here today. I'm trying to deal with the issue of marijuana. I don't care if you're black or Asian or
But
European.
your government do.
But let me
what you're
Okay, go ahead.
now,
Yeah,
yes,
go ahead.
let me jump in here now,
No,
because
no,
what we have to do is define what government is. And when we define government, whether it's black or white, as far as the image, the purpose of the government is what my brother King and Blackson and I have been trying to say that you may not have full knowledge of. Is this government's purpose
There's a lot of
is
things
to
I don't have full knowledge
deny,
of. Okay, and that's
to
why I'm
de-
here. Perhaps enlighten
Exactly.
me.
Well, that's
okay?
what we're trying to
I'm
do.
not going to. I'm not.
Well,
gonna
that's
sit
what I'm
here.
doing. So what I'm saying is the government is denying due process and equality through unjust and unequal laws. And
I totally
those
agree.
unjust and unequal laws
totally agree.
are
That's
based
why-
on racial guidelines. So
maintain white
we're not
supremacy.
saying that you're not the whooping boy here. You're a champion. You're a listening ear
Go ask
from
Kasim
those
Reed
of
if he
us who
supports,
don't know, you normally don't hear from.
Ask Kasim Reed, the black leader of Atlanta, alleged black leader of Atlanta, if he supports locking people up for marijuana.
Well, he supports locking people up. What was
Okay,
it?
so what's his problem? Where does his
Because
white
he's an
supremacy-
elitist.
where
There's
does
the
his-
bourgeois,
Okay.
there's this social elite who want to take the crumbs that fall off the oppressor's table.
Well, obviously, I can't solve.
You cannot. We're not
I can't
asking
solve
you.
those problems.
We thank you for listening and being a
I
part, as much
appreciate
as you
that,
have
and
listened.
don't think that I don't understand. That's why I'm here. I
Certainly.
understand the impact the laws are having. What I'm trying to do is eliminate the possibility of the contact with our government.
Certainly.
I don't.
Your government. Go ahead.
I'm a libertarian. Okay.
Okay.
Libertarians are generally
Good.
opposed to government intervention
That's
in our
right.
lives. Okay. So I'm opposed to that. I want to live my life without the government interfering in my life. Okay.
Okay. Continue. It's just.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay. Tiffany, I know you were.
Okay.
Yeah, you were.
I want to say something.
Okay.
Mr. James, I'm sitting here listening to you, and what Brother King Noble is trying to say is, you just have to look at the
History,
you just have to look at the history, the whole
track record.
the whole war on drugs was actually the war on black people, and
Because it was targeted in black neighborhoods, right.
And so,
right.
so you maintain the
Hold on.
status quo.
Let her finish. Let's
Okay.
make
Wait.
the point.
Okay, and it still is attack on black people. Now, you said you have been locked up for 2 years for marijuana, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, I mean, you being locked up for 2 years, okay, you got black people being locked up for 5 or 10 years over some marijuana, over selling drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, you know, that's
and
not
I'm
my problem, and I'm sorry.
I want to say something else.
Yeah.
I want to say something to King Nova real quick. And Brother Gideon, you know, I understand where y'all coming from. We not, and you can't attack this.
First of all, he's for marijuana.
Okay, I
getting
know,
this.
but what
Okay.
I'm getting ready to say is,
Make your point.
what I'm getting ready to say, you can't attack this brother.
I can't.
You
I
can't
can attack
attack him because, you know, he's a white person. You know, you can't do that. I mean, that's not, he doesn't have control over what the government is doing.
Sure,
I mean,
we understand that.
what he's saying is
Right.
that we just trying to stop the prohibition of the marijuana so people can be able to smoke it without the government saying you can't do this or
That
you
you
can't do
committed a
that.
crime.
Or that you committed a crime. That's all
Exactly.
he's trying to say. He's
We agree.
not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's acknowledging what's going on as far as the black and
That's right.
the
That's
black and white situation. He
Inequity.
acknowledging, the inequity. Yeah, he's acknowledging that, but at the same time, he just trying to. His main focus is on the prohibition of marijuana. It's not focused on racism, but you're
True.
making it about racism with him. I mean, and I feel like you kind of personally attack him, and that's not fair to him.
Can I address the sentencing? I've supported a group called, and I'd like to mention a couple of the organizations
Yes,
I
please,
do
please do.
support. Families Against Mandatory Minimum Sentencing.
Right.
Right.
These groups have been working for 20 years to try to end the disparity in sentencing. We know that the cocaine laws were applied unequally, that these mandatory sentencing are putting people in prison for long periods of time, 5, 10, and 20 years for small amounts of drugs. Slowly, these groups have started chipping at these laws and started changing these laws. So there is progress, and I have been working for over 20 years trying to change some of these laws. So I just want to put that on the table. I work with groups like NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. I represent the group Georgia Care. It's the Campaign for Access, Reform, and Education. We have a website, gacareproject.com, and we have a lot of information on there. So there's a lot of organizations that are busy, that are active. We have Students for Sensible Drug Policy.
Okay.
So there's a lot of organizations out there that are supporting reform. So we encourage people to get involved. I don't care what aspect. This issue, one thing that I find is the marijuana issue crosses over all economic, all social, and all racial and gender barriers. It's one thing that we can all agree upon. The deal is, I'm not here to argue supremacy or racism.
Right.
I'm here to discuss whether or not we should have marijuana legal or under the current.
Right, and I'm hold on a second, and that relates, let me get Alberta in here. I'm going to ask Alberta a quick question because James talked about the mandatory minimum, right? So should the mandatory minimum be applied to O.J. Simpson? Since we're talking about law here.
You know what?
I bring him up because, you know, it's not about racism, but I'm just showing where we as black people, we see a injustice here. And we got the marijuana thing going on, but I'm asked this serious question because he talked about mandatory, should O.J. Simpson be part of the mandatory minimum?
Oh, well, I mean, should a lot of black men be part of the mandatory minimum?
I
I mean,
just
and
use
black
that as an
women,
example.
because there are far more black men and black women sitting in prisons today than any other group
Well,
of
Tiffany
people.
just said it wasn't about race.
Well, you know, I mean, it is really, to be honest.
You disagree
If
with Tiffany here?
if there is at least 90% of black people sitting in prisons today, obviously it has something to do
Over
with the
marijuana.
laws, these racist laws in this country.
Right.
I mean,
We can
it has
keep
something
the
to
laws.
do.
We can keep
it
the
has
laws how they
something to
are.
do
Hold
with-
on, let her-
It has something to do with the inequality in the criminal justice system that is going
Criminal
on
injustice system.
in this system today. I mean, there's at least 90% of black people sitting in prisons today. A lot of them are sitting there on crimes that they did not commit. You know, a lot of them are there for minor issues.
I think 86% of them there are
I mean,
there for their
Some of them
years.
they're looking like
Right.
somebody else.
So, I mean, James makes a very valid point about prohibition because 86% of return inmates are there because of THC. And my argument is that it got to be addictive because, like James, I've been to prison, like Malcolm X, and I don't understand why a person would go back there unless they're addicted. Tiffany, go ahead.
Okay, to correct what you were saying,
Correct what I'm saying? Okay.
I didn't say that it doesn't make a difference as far as incarceration. What I was saying that, you know, when he said that he'd been locked up for marijuana before for 2 years, I'm saying that you have black brothers who's been locked up for marijuana for 5 or 10 years. You know, for
Right, I think-
that's what I was saying though. And also I want to say, you didn't ask me the question about legalization of marijuana. Should marijuana be legal?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was
Go
going
ahead.
to say that it should be legal, but this is my intake on it. It should be used for, you know, for spirituality purposes, like, you know, the Rastafarian.
Well, let me get something straight here. That's why I asked the question. Let me go on record.
Okay.
It is not about marijuana being legal or illegal. It's about those legislators that King Noble and Gideon don't trust making other plans. That Gideon, King Noble trying to show Mr. James that this is the same government.
But you asked that
Right.
should marijuana be legal or illegal, correct?
No, I'm saying that, but this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. My first question is marijuana addictive?
Okay.
That's my,
Okay.
no,
Let me-
let me finish.
No.
My first question is marijuana addictive? I'm saying yes, it is. There's the numbers to prove that it's addictive.
Okay.
When people get the recidivism rate over and over again, it's got to be addictive.
And
Number
there-
one.
and therefore
And number
what?
two, is there a plan? That's why I gave, you're a Hebrew Israelite, right? I gave the metaphor description of David. He sent Bathsheba's wife in the battle. This is what this man do. He's not going to see that this man is, there is a plan for this man. So what I'm saying is that there is a plan for if these people that the white government that Gideon and King Noble don't trust it.
Okay.
I'm saying, so that they're saying the
white man
argument
is the
that
devil.
why there's a racial issue here is because the government that we do not trust has a plan. Even when they legalize the marijuana, they are capitalists, and Monsanto and Walmart
Right.
will legalize it. Once they legalize it, they will pull back and lock a bunch of people up.
Right.
That's what I'm goddamn
You
saying.
teaching. Plus they gonna be smoking
That's what I'm
GMO weed.
goddamn saying. That's what I'm asking. Who is a revolutionary up here? I see people half-stepping. It's not about legal or illegal because I'm a
Yes, sir.
revolutionary. I can give a damn about
Come on,
this
take-
legal.
Yes, sir.
I'm showing my people where the hidden agenda is. So we talk about Bibles, we talk about this and that, we talk about we think we know the government, we really don't know the effing government.
Okay.
That's
and-
what I'm
That's what
telling you.
goddamn I'm saying,
Okay,
man.
that's true.
Right.
That's true. That's true. That's
Okay,
true.
so why are you asking me about legalization? I can care less.
Wait, you can't. Why are you attacking me?
No, because I'm trying to wake up
I'm just
people.
trying to ask you a question.
Okay, but listen,
No,
listen.
he's not attacking.
Because here's
Don't take it
calm
personal.
down.
I'm just
Don't
trying
take
to
it personal. Don't
Yeah,
take it personal.
yeah.
I'm just
That's
trying
why
to
this.
ask you a question.
Hold on. Don't take it personal.
Yes.
This is what I do. Okay.
Yes.
I understand.
This
your
is not
anger.
nothing. Right.
Now,
It's not even about
I understand
anger.
what you're
I'm
saying.
trying to wake up people's eyes. When I'm
Right,
saying
I
that
understand that.
he has a just cause.
Okay.
Because we're all for the legalization of it. But you missed, I said, I want you specifically, Tiffany, to look up the addiction rate and the legal system. It's not even about, I'm trying to show a hidden plan here. Because we talk about Assad Shakur, we talk about Malcolm X, but we don't still see the hidden plan.
Okay,
That's
if
right,
people
that's
are addicted to marijuana, yes, you got.
You got the numbers to prove it.
Okay, but I mean, to be honest with you really don't need the numbers to prove it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. See, as an atheist, as an atheist, I need proof. Alberta, do we need proof?
Well, I do need proof.
Or do we
I
just need to believe we don't
I
need the
do need
numbers?
proof.
She just said we don't need the numbers. I need proof and
I said
evidence.
you really don't.
I need
because
proof.
Alberta, do we need proof and evidence?
I need proof because, I mean, our lives depend upon it. You know, that's why I need
So we
proof.
can't operate on faith and
Okay.
belief. Can
Our
we?
very lives depend upon
Right.
proof.
You just said we don't need the numbers. I
said
need
you
numbers.
Really, I mean, you can have proof, but me personally.
You personally believe in some sky daddy. You know what I'm saying? As a person,
Hold on.
right?
This ain't even about
It
religion.
is about that. It is about that. Okay.
Attack me on my religion.
Okay, what I'm saying.
Don't even attack me. Don't do it. You ask me a question about marijuana. You know,
Right.
ask me a question
And what
about
I'm saying,
marijuana.
I need proof and evidence.
Hold on.
It does affect people who are religious. Don't need proof and evidence most of the time. Is that true, Alberta?
I mean,
Do people? Hold on.
personally, I
I
need proof
Right, well,
of
that's what I'm
everything.
saying,
I
too.
need proof of everything.
Okay, James. as you can see.
Well, let me
This
address
what
the
happens when y'all have
addiction-
Satan
the
here. See
addiction
what
part.
Satan does?
Right, let's address
The energy of
addiction.
Satan, it throws stuff off.
I mean,
I said, this what happens when y'all have Satan here.
Well, just let.
Wait,
Satan just throws the energy off, man.
hold on.
See,
No, but
That's the problem. You don't see who Satan really is.
No,
Satan is right.
Keno, this is the way I always feel. I feel like look, this is nothing personal. White people can't tell me anything about this, that, and the other. What I'm saying is that I got black people talking about marijuana is not addictive, but yet we get locked up at 86%.
Let me address the addiction part. Let's say marijuana is addictive.
Right,
okay?
it is.
Who is better to deal with addiction, the police or healthcare workers?
I agree. Okay, now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Right, but we
let's
gotta
say
admit that it's addictive, right.
Let's say it is addictive. Do the police take care of addictions, or do health professionals
Health
take care
professionals,
of?
yeah.
Do ministers and
No, not
faith
ministers.
people deal with certain issues, or do police deal with certain issues, or do we allow addiction specialists to deal with addictions? And that's where I'm coming from. Who is best to deal with addictions? Whether it's cocaine,
But James,
marijuana.
you avoided my
weed.
first question.
What's the question?
The question is marijuana addictive? We got to admit
You're
that
asking
first.
me. I'm going to say it's not addictive
then we gotta-
because
All right.
I've never experienced addiction with marijuana.
All right.
I can only speak from that
He
experience.
plays this.
Go ahead, brother. Hold on,
I
go
agree
ahead,
with
brother.
He plays dumb, man.
I agree with
Exactly.
plays
What
stupid
brand do
when-
you smoke? I mean, I don't see. I'm not a marijuana smoker. I don't know.
either.
I don't know about too much about marijuana.
Well, quite frankly, I'm not into brands or strains
See,
or
he plays
whatever.
dumb.
What's available? What's available?
Well,
Let's put it that way.
I have.
No, but what I'm saying is that,
difference would it
and
make?
this is why I went back to numbers. See, and this is why I brought
I
it
mean,
back.
because he just said that he's not addicted to marijuana, and I want to know what strand does he smoke because.
Okay. Now, let me.
For the record.
This is what, because I know.
What
I know.
brand do you smoke that is
Hold on.
I mean, I don't smoke marijuana. I don't smoke marijuana. I want to know.
He is
I want to
admitted to
know.
participating in criminal activity. Go ahead.
Right, and this, I apologize to you, Tiffany, and I apologize to you, Gideon.
Excellent.
However,
No, you good.
this is why I know King Noble.
your
Hold
apology.
on. This is why I know King Noble got my back, and Alberta got my back. See, we go on proof and evidence, and the proof and evidence show that you got 86% of black males getting locked up. That proves that it's addictive.
Well, it does not.
Right,
It
yeah,
does
it's
not.
common sense to leave it alone.
proves
Right,
we have
right.
prohibition,
Right.
and that they were targeting people, the most vulnerable
okay.
people in our society.
Oh,
okay.
That's what that
He
proves.
know what's going on now.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, now you
Now,
know. He was gone a minute ago.
If I may
Okay, go ahead, look.
engage that particular topic, since that I have fortunately and unfortunately over the years been involved with the devil weed called Mary Jane.
Why you call it devil weed?
Mary Jane.
That's the
Yeah,
one he smoked.
okay.
He smoked
Okay,
the devil weed. I
okay.
can tell he do.
Well,
Mr. James.
that's what
He's got on the fence
that's
here.
how it's been depicted. But this
Okay.
is the point. When people utilize it, they do it because they want to. It isn't because
Okay.
they're driven to.
It's a matter of
I mean,
free
when
will.
I for used for years, and fall off the cart, get back on the cart.
Okay.
It is. It's not because it's addictive. Now,
Okay.
I'm not saying, and we did a powerful show
Right.
where we talked about smallpox in the blanket.
Right.
Certainly, if we're getting these this particular herb from sources we don't know, like in the 70s,
I'm gonna tell you
when
the
they were
sources. I'll tell you
spraying
the sources. You know-
paraquat
Right.
and embalming fluid,
Right.
and people it was harming
I'm
their
gonna tell you the
esophagus.
sources now. Let me tell you the sources.
Monsanto.
Right. It's already. I don't know if James, you already know this. Monsanto
Yes,
and Walmart
yes.
are the big boys in marijuana.
Yeah.
The marijuana that you think that you're fighting for, died back in the McCarthy era.
Well,
They
no,
started
Jamaica,
stealing.
man.
No, in
Jamaica.
Jamaica, because they
Yes.
have Starbucks all over Jamaica, and Jamaica is a subsidiary of Walmart. Don't get fooled, Gideon.
True.
Don't
I
get
mean,
it's about world domination.
it
Don't
is
get
world
these
domination.
corporations
I
got
agree,
all
I
the
agree.
goddamn weed. They been had all the dang weed. Is what I'm saying. And then you enjoy smoking the weed, and they tainting of that weed.
They are-
And
they
making
have
it
been
addictive.
tainting.
And it's been addictive. That's all I'm saying. So
Absolutely.
Monsanto.
But see,
why
again,
don't
I'm
trust-
saying it's
right.
not addictive because I stopped.
Okay.
I've smoked over
All
the
right.
years. I
And that's
stopped.
why I asked you if you're a revolutionary.
The question then becomes, is it addictive for who? Because it is addictive for some, and it may not be addictive for others, but it has addictive properties to it.
Well,
That's the
psychological
fact.
addiction, wait a minute, let me say this. Psychological addiction and physical addiction are two separate entities. The psychological
I'm saying
addiction
addiction.
is something where you have
I'm
a weak
saying
mind,
it's right.
and
It's
then
the
there's
same.
a chemical dependency based on the THC, the delta 9 THC, that's within the herb
One
called cannabis.
one thing I know that James can
So they're two
verify.
separate issues.
It's all the
When you
same. You're
first-
psychologically addicted. You physically go get it, and then you inhale the chemical.
That has
Okay,
whether or not
psychological-
marijuana
okay.
has addictive properties is irrelevant to the question of whether it should be legal or
Legalized.
not.
No,
Those are
there
two
are-
separate issues that cannot
True.
be addressed in the same.
The white man
same
shouldn't have the
issue.
power to legalize or criminalize anything
Well,
ever
here's
again,
why-
ever
that's
again.
why-
Period.
This government,
Period.
yes.
And that's why I
This
said-
government,
that's
which
why I
is
said-
predominantly white,
Yes.
who have predominantly made those laws that you don't like, your
Yes.
people made those laws.
That's true.
Okay,
Who was
that's
in
why-
legislation power when those laws were originally created? Black or
right.
white?
Okay, but see,
that's your
why-
people that you have a problem
That's
with.
why I'm
It's
speaking
true.
language
It's
of
true. You're absolutely right. And he's agreeing.
You need to deal with white supremacy.
with me, is
You
what
need to
I'm
deal with
saying.
white supremacy.
Okay, but see,
Because just like you have a right to smoke your weed, I have a right to be angry
I'm
too.
an
hold on.
I'm an
That's why-
individual.
My weed is anger.
that's
My
why-
weed is anger.
I fight
I
for my
smoke
own
anger.
rights and my own
Let
liberty.
them black have
Okay,
control.
I
hold
can
on.
attack who I want to attack.
Hold
Put him back
on.
up
That's
there.
why, I got 4 minutes left. That's why I specifically asked people, are they revolutionaries? Now, James, you just said you were a libertarian, so that's part of the system that we currently, status quo, live in. So let me just say this real quick. If you know Blackson, it's not a question of if it's illegal or legal. It's showing the hidden plan. So I guess I got to talk in biblical language all the dang time, don't
Beautiful.
I?
Yeah, you
I
made
guess I
a
got to
great
talk in
point.
Bible language.
You're gonna
because
be preaching in a minute.
I had to agree
I'm
with you.
talking about people like Monsanto
Yes.
and goddamn
Walmart,
Walmart
yes.
that they changed the structure of weed
Yes.
worldwide
You're right.
since after the McCarthy
Right.
era, since the 1960s. When you can watch a simple film called The Spook That Sat by the Door.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember he said,
Agreed.
well, the first
Yes.
question they asked, does he smoke weed? So
Right.
they already knew that black people like smoking weed.
Yes.
So guess what the government has the resources to do? They have the resources to genetically modify corn,
Absolutely.
to goddamn clone deers,
Yes.
and guess how they started all that experimentation? Through marijuana. That's all I'm goddamn saying, so do your research.
I know your time's short.
I know. Let's, we want to
I'm here for a
We got
reason.
4
I'm
minutes.
here for a
I know.
reason to
Yeah,
tell.
we definitely gonna have a part 2 on this one. We definitely.
Right.
I'm here for a reason. I'm here to tell your viewers that if you don't like marijuana prohibition, there's a way out of this.
Right.
And that is by getting involved with the numerous organizations that are
Right.
fighting against this. Okay,
Right.
we want to change these laws.
And James, I'm for that.
And
What I'm saying is that there's a hidden agenda.
well, I understand. I can't
Okay.
solve your hidden
Okay,
agenda.
that's
I'm
fine.
trying to set an agenda
Okay, go ahead,
that
go
is to
ahead.
change these laws. And we're going to do that by getting involved. What I want to do, we have a website called GACareProject.com. If you want more information about marijuana legalization, it will take you to all the other groups and all the other associations that are out there that are trying to change these laws. I wish I could solve all the other problems by doing this. I can't address this one issue, and I hope that those who are involved, black, white, or other, to get involved with what we're doing. I think that what we can accomplish together, we can't solve the bigger pictures with these conglomerates, but nothing has stopped Colorado, nothing
Right.
has stopped Washington from legalizing and
Right.
decriminalizing these. So this is possible. There is a potential in Georgia to
Right.
change these laws, and I want your viewers to know
Okay.
that we're here to change these laws, and
Okay.
and we can't do it without their help.
Right, I agree. And with that being said, because I know you mentioned Colorado and the other states, Seattle,
Washington.
California, Washington, California still lock up people for dirty urine. So with that being said, peace, we out. Next time. We're going to deal with the Senate declaring Islam as a, endless wars. We're going to deal with that next time. So we out, peace. Everything.
Thank you.
Man, this thing was a real arena today, wasn't it?